The first signal. It was a normal day on Earth. People were going to work, children were in schools. The sky was clear and everything felt peaceful, but far above the clouds, something strange was happening. At a space observatory in Chile, a young scientist named Mira looked at her screen. Her job was to watch signals from space. Usually, it was just radio noise, stars, or old satellites. But today, she saw something different, a signal, strong, repeating, and not from Earth. She froze. The signal wasn't natural, it had a pattern. It sounded like a message. She called her supervisor. Soon, scientists around the world were listening to the same signal. It was coming from deep space, but it was moving fast and heading toward Earth. In Washington, D.C., the president held an emergency meeting. Military leaders, scientists, and world leaders joined by video call. "What is it?" one general asked. "We don't know," a scientist replied, "but it's not from this planet. And it's coming closer." Within 48 hours, the whole world knew. News channels showed the signal on screens. Some people were excited, most were afraid. Religious leaders called it a sign. Scientists called it first contact, but no one knew what the message said. Then, the signal stopped. The world went silent. People waited. Then it happened. At exactly 4:16 p.m., the sky changed. A bright light appeared over the Pacific Ocean. It wasn't the sun. It was something much bigger. Within seconds, hundreds of huge objects appeared in the sky. They weren't airplanes, they weren't meteors, they were ships, massive, dark, floating cities in the air. The alien armada had arrived. Panic spread across the world. People ran, cities shut down, fighter jets flew up, but they didn't fire. The alien ships hovered silently. Then, a voice was heard. It wasn't coming from speakers, it was in everyone's mind, in every language. "We are the dragon. This planet is now under our control. Do not resist." People screamed, some fainted. Others dropped to their knees. In space, satellites went offline. The International Space Station lost power. The aliens had cut off Earth's eyes and ears. Earth's armies were ready. But no one had ever fought something like this. In a hidden underground base, an old scientist named Dr. Raj stood before a secret computer. He had warned the world for years about possible alien contact. No one had listened. Now it was too late. His assistant, a young engineer named Leo, looked at him. "Sir, what do we do?" Dr. Raj didn't answer right away. He stared at the screen. Then he said quietly, "We activate Project Titan." Back in the sky, the alien ships began to move. Smaller craft flew out of the big ships and started landing in major cities: New York, Tokyo, London, Delhi, Cairo. They didn't talk, they didn't wait. They started taking over communication centers, power stations, and military bases. The invasion had begun. Earth fired back, missiles were launched, jets attacked, but the alien ships had shields. Nothing touched them. The world watched helplessly. But deep underground, in the secret base, Project Titan was waking up. It was Earth's last secret. A machine built for one purpose: to defend humanity from the unknown. As lights turned on and systems came online, a calm, robotic voice spoke. "Aegis system online. Welcome, Dr. Raj." The old scientist took a deep breath. "The world needs you now." Meanwhile, in the sky, the alien commander watched Earth's defense fail. "Weak," he said. "This will be easy." But he didn't know one thing: humans don't give up. And something inside Earth was waking up, something the aliens had not planned for. Asterisk, the first strike smoke filled the skies of Earth. The alien ships, dark and silent, hovered over cities like giant shadows. People ran through the streets, searching for shelter. The world had changed in a single day. Inside one of the alien ships, Commander Zelithar of the Dragon Fleet stood tall. His skin was black and smooth like metal. His eyes glowed red as he looked at a 3D hologram of Earth. "Humans are unorganized, weak," he said. "Begin the first strike." With one silent command, the alien fleet began their attack. In New York, a loud humming filled the air. People looked up. A blinding blue beam came down from the sky. In seconds, entire buildings melted, cars exploded, roads cracked open. In Tokyo, giant alien machines walked through the streets. They didn't use bullets, they used energy, silent, fast, deadly. Human soldiers fired back, but their bullets bounced off the aliens' armor. Nothing worked. Cities around the world became battle zones: Cairo, Paris, Beijing, Sao Paulo, everywhere. The alien message played again, this time louder and colder: "Surrender, you have no chance." In London, a young soldier named Aaron stood on a broken rooftop. He watched the alien ships burn the city. His radio crackled. "Is anyone out there? We need backup." A voice screamed. Before the signal cut out, Aaron had never seen war like this. His rifle felt useless in his hands. But he didn't run. He kept moving, helping people escape through the ruins, because that's what humans do, they fight, even when hope is gone. Meanwhile, deep underground in Norway, The secret military base where Project Titan had been hidden was now fully awake. Aegis. The AI defense system scanned millions of data points every second. It studied the alien weapons, their ships, their tactics. In a cold room filled with screens, Dr. Raj and his team stood around a glowing console. "The world is falling," Leo said. His voice shook. Dr. Raj nodded. "We expected that. Now it's our turn." Aegis spoke in a calm, clear voice. "I have found a weakness." Everyone leaned in. "The alien power cores are unstable. If hit with a strong enough EMP, their shields will fall. But we must get close." Leo frowned. "How close?" "Inside their command ships." Silence. "That was suicide." The alien command ships were massive, floating fortresses, but there was no time to be afraid. Dr. Raj turned to Leo and the others. "We have to form a strike team, small, fast, and brave." Back on the surface, Earth's armies were regrouping. Satellites had gone dark, but some fighter jets were still in the sky. In the ruins of Berlin, a group of surviving soldiers led by Captain Mira, the same scientist who first detected the signal, had found one of the alien machines, damaged but not dead. It was humming. Mira crouched next to it. "This thing's still alive," she whispered. Her teammate aimed a gun. "Should I shoot?" "No. Let's listen first." As Mira tapped into its communications system, she discovered something strange. The alien tech wasn't perfect. It was learning, adapting, but not fast enough. "We can use this," she said. "We can learn from them, just like they're learning from us." She sent her data to Project Titan's base. Every bit of alien tech, every weakness, it all helped Aegis understand them better. The AI created a plan. It was dangerous, risky, but it could work. Aegis would guide a strike team into one of the main alien command ships. From inside, they would launch an impulse to destroy the fleet's shields. Only then could Earth's weapons hurt them. Leo, Mira, and 3 other elite fighters were chosen. Their mission would begin at dawn, but the aliens weren't waiting. That night, a massive alien ship descended over Washington, D.C. It hovered silently, then began firing plasma beams into the city. The White House was gone in seconds. The aliens wanted to crush Earth's spirit, but instead, they lit a fire. The whole world saw the destruction. And for the first time, something changed. Humans stopped being afraid. Soldiers, rebels, scientists, and even ordinary people began fighting back, not just with weapons, but with ideas, strategy, and unity. The first strike had started. But it wasn't just the aliens who were striking. Humanity was striking back. Project Titan activate. Smoke still rose over Washington, London, and New Delhi. Earth was on fire. Alien warships covered the skies. Cities looked like shadows of the past. But beneath the fear, something new was growing. Resistance. And far beneath the icy mountains of Norway, Project Titan was waking up completely. Inside a high-security bunker, Dr. Raj stood before a large, circular chamber. It was cold, silent. At the center stood a massive black machine, smooth, strange, alive. It had no weapons, no wheels, no arms, but it pulsed with blue light like a beating heart. This was Aegis, the artificial intelligence Earth had built. In secret over 15 years, it had never been turned on until now. Leo entered the chamber, breathless. "Sir, new alien forces are attacking Africa and South America. We're losing control." Dr. Raj nodded slowly. "Then it's time. No more testing. No more hiding. Activate full command." He placed his hand on the biometric scanner. The machine buzzed softly. A voice echoed, cold but calm. "Titan protocols unlocked. Earth Defense AI Aegis is online. How may I protect humanity?" The bunker lights dimmed. All screens lit up with maps, alien fleet positions, energy readings, and signals. Aegis scanned the entire planet in seconds, analyzing enemy. Dragon fleet consists of 1,216 ships. Shields, plasma phase, weakness, energy disruption core, solution. Targeted internal overload. Leo blinked. "What does that mean?" Dr. Raj answered. "It means we hit them from inside." Aegis continued. Success probability of global survival, 11%. Success probability if Project Titan is deployed with hybrid team, 47%. Everyone in the room froze. 47%. It wasn't good, but it was better than zero. Aegis's main screen showed a new plan, Operation Stonefire, a high-risk strike mission into the alien command ship above North America. Why that ship? Because it was the control node. The Dragon Queen was there. The alien that directed the entire fleet's neural system. Destroy her, and the rest would fall like dominoes. But how do we get inside? Leo asked. Aegis showed a classified prototype, a stealth spacecraft built from crashed alien tech hidden deep under the base. No one had ever flown it. Dr. Raj turned to the team. "We're sending in a team of 5, 1 scientist, 1 AI technician, 3 special ops. You'll go invisible, enter the ship, plant the M core, and get out." Leo's eyes widened. That's suicide, Dr. Raj replied calmly. So was building this machine, but here we are, elsewhere. Above Earth, Commander Zelithar watched from the Dragon flagship. He stood before a floating window made of living glass, Earth burned below. But something was wrong, his officers were nervous. Ships in the Asia quadrant had started malfunctioning, weapons failed. Shields flickered. Explain this, Zelithar growled. We do not know, his second-in-command answered. The humans are adapting, Zelithar hissed. Impossible, they are primitive. But in the shadows of the ship, even the Dragon were starting to feel something alien to them. Fear. Back on Earth. The team prepares in the cold hangar. The 5-person strike team stood before the sleek black craft. It looked like a predator, silent, sharp, fast. Mira, now promoted to mission leader, adjusted her helmet. Her voice was steady, but her eyes told the truth. She knew they might never come back. Leo joined her, carrying a glowing case. The EMP core, it was small, but powerful enough to shut down half the alien fleet, if it worked. Dr. Raj handed Mira a small chip. Insert this into their neural tower. Aegis will take control and send a virus. That's our second plan, in case the EMP fails. What if both fail? Leo asked. Dr. Raj looked at him. Then Earth will fall, and you'll die heroes. The launch ship lifted off without sound. It vanished into the clouds. Aegis guided them silently, speaking directly into Mira's headset. Enemy sensors blind. Proceed. Entry in 60 seconds. As they neared the alien mothership, everyone held their breath. The ship looked like a floating mountain, black, jagged, alive. A large, glowing hatch opened. They flew in. No alarms, no movement, total silence. That's what scared them most. They landed deep inside a huge chamber filled with alien machines and strange green light. The air was thick and heavy. Mira gave the signal. Let's move fast and quiet. Inside, everything was alive. The walls, the floors, even the light. They moved carefully. One soldier placed a motion tracker on the wall. It beeped once, then again. Then rapidly. Movement, coming fast. Suddenly, the walls opened. Alien creatures, not Dragon, but something worse, came out. Thin, tall, spider-like beings with sharp limbs and black eyes. The team opened fire. Mira shouted, protect the core. Aegis came online through their helmets. This is expected. They are defense drones. Move left. There's a path through the vents. They ran. Shots fired. Blood spilled, but they made it. They reached the neural tower. Leo placed the EMP core in the socket. Mira inserted the virus chip. Now, they had 90 seconds to escape. The ship began shaking. Alarms blared. The Dragon had detected them, but it was too late. The countdown began, outside the ship. From Earth's surface, people looked up. For the first time, the largest Dragon ship flickered. Lights went out, then a silent explosion of blue light filled the sky. One by one, the other alien ships started losing control, and in the bunker, Aegis said only one word, strike complete. Asterisk inside the beast silence. Not the peaceful kind. The deadly kind, the kind that presses against your skin and makes your heart beat louder in your ears. The strike team was trapped. The EMP core had detonated. Alien systems were falling apart. Lights flickered. The mothership trembled, but Mira, Leo, and the two surviving soldiers, Dax and Kane, were still inside. And now the ship was no longer just a machine. It was waking up. 20 minutes earlier, when Mira inserted the virus chip, she felt something strange, like a cold wind rushing through her spine. For a second, her vision blurred. She saw flashes. Images, screams, worlds burning, cities swallowed by black clouds. A memory? No, not hers. Someone, or something, had seen her, but there was no time to think. They activated the EMP, turned to run, and the door slammed shut. The ship locked them in. Now, Leo checked his scanner. No signal, no exit. We're stuck, Kane swore. The ship's AI is still alive. It's fighting back. The walls around them pulsed. The metal was breathing, like lungs, like skin. Mira whispered, this ship isn't just technology, it's alive. Suddenly, a deep growl echoed through the corridor, not mechanical, organic. The team raised their weapons. From the dark, something moved, not Dragon soldiers, not machines. These were different, twisted, mutated. Once humanoid creatures, now have metal, have flesh. Their bodies were stretched, reshaped, like something had experimented on them and failed. Leo stared in horror. They were human. Dax shot one in the head. It didn't fall. They're not anymore, he yelled. The team ran, dodging sharp limbs and acid spit. The corridor twisted as if it was alive. Doors melted. The floor bent. This wasn't a ship. It was a living nightmare. Meanwhile, in orbit, Aegis monitored the failing systems of the mothership. It had lost contact with the team. Biological contamination detected, the AI said. Dr. Raj frowned. What does that mean? Aegis paused. The Dragon fleet is not only a military force, it is also a biolaboratory. They do not conquer planets, they consume them. Learn from them, twist them. Dr. Raj felt his stomach drop. Then, they were experimenting on us? Correct, human genetic code shows rare traits the dragon have never seen before. Rapid adaptation, emotional resistance, memory-based. Learning, they want to steal it, replicate it. Dr. Raj whispered, they're not just invading. They're evolving. Back inside the ship, Mira and the team reached a central chamber. It was massive. Thousands of cables hung from the ceiling, connected to floating cocoons. Inside them were people, not dead, not alive, cryopods, Leo said. They're keeping humans frozen. Kane smashed one open. The man inside gasped, eyes wide, then screamed. His skin began to change, bones cracked. Muscles shifted. Before their eyes, the man was turning into something else. Mira fired her weapon. The body dropped. Tears filled her eyes. These aren't prisoners, she said, they're samples. Leo looked around. This is just one chamber. There could be thousands more. Above them, a massive shape moved in the dark. The queen. She was unlike anything they'd seen, not humanoid. Not machine. She had wings made of bone and steel, eyes like molten silver, and a voice that entered their minds directly. You are curious things. So weak, so wild, so dangerous. Kane fired. The bullet stopped midair. The queen whispered, you do not understand what you are. She reached out with her mind. Mira dropped her weapon, clutched her head. Her memories flashed. Her mother, her childhood, her training, the signal, and something else. She saw a vision of Earth. Fighting back, surviving, winning. The queen pulled away, startled. You are the mutation, she said. The virus. Mira stood, trembling but angry. We're not your lab rats. Then Leo activated the virus manually. The second phase, Aegis, spoke through his earpiece. Neural core infected, dragon systems collapsing. The queen screamed. The ship convulsed. Mira yelled, get to the drop chamber, escape, or sacrifice? The team ran, dodging explosions and falling walls, but at the final door, only one escape pod was left. Mira looked at the others. 3 people, 1 pod. No time. Kane pushed Leo forward. Take the data, take her, finish this. Dax stayed behind. With Kane, they covered the exit, guns blazing. Mira and Leo shot out of the ship, the pod crashing into the ocean below. Above them, the mothership cracked apart. Fire tore through the sky. The queen was dead. On Earth, people around the world saw it, the largest alien ship burning, falling from the sky. It hit the ocean with a shockwave that triggered tsunamis. But also hope. For the first time, the alien voice was gone. No message, no threat, just silence. Humanity had struck back, but Aegis had one final warning. Dragon backup fleet detected. 9 weeks until arrival. Prepare. Asterisk, DNA weapon. Ocean still boiled where the alien mothership had fallen, all around the world. People looked up at the sky, expecting more ships, more death, but there was silence, for now. In underground bunkers, damaged bases, and ruined cities, humans began to breathe again, slowly, carefully, but no one felt safe because Aegis, the AI guardian of Earth, had spoken only one sentence: 9 weeks until Dragon reinforcements arrive. The countdown had begun. The hidden truth inside the Norway bunker. Mira lay on a hospital bed, weak but alive. Leo sat beside her, holding a datapad filled with everything they had recorded from inside the mothership. The virus had worked. The queen was dead, but the war was far from over. Dr. Raj stood in the command room, staring at DNA sequences on a massive screen. Charts, graphs, and genetic code filled the air like floating ghosts. Aegis spoke calmly. New data confirms previous theory. Dragon were harvesting humans for one reason: to copy our DNA. Leo looked confused. But why? We're weaker, slower, less advanced. Dr. Raj answered for him. Not less advanced, just different. Our evolution is unstable, wild. That's why we adapt. That's why we survive. Aegis continued. 1 in every 100,000 humans carries a rare gene mutation, a bioresistance, that disrupts dragon biology. It is unpredictable and deadly to them. Mira, now recovered and standing near the lab entrance, whispered. So that's why they were afraid of us. Correct, Aegis replied. The mutation cannot be created, only found, but if harnessed, it can be weaponized. Operation Genesis. The plan was born in silence. Earth's remaining scientists, doctors, and military leaders gathered underground to hear what sounded like madness: a DNA weapon, a living cure, a virus that kills only aliens but spreads through human touch. They would not use missiles this time, they would use themselves. Dr. Raj called the project Operation Genesis. We don't need to kill every dragon, he explained. We just need to infect their command chain. Let the virus spread through their ships like a fire in dry grass. Aegis had already located the genetic profiles of 17 humans who carried the rare mutation. Some were scientists, some were soldiers. One was a 14-year-old girl in Argentina. They were called the Vectors, but there was one problem. In order to weaponize the mutation, the vectors had to be modified. Their immune systems enhanced, their blood turned into biocode. The process was dangerous. Most wouldn't survive it. The choice each vector was given a choice: walk away and live, or stay and become Earth's final line of defense. The girl from Argentina, her name was Anna, said nothing. She just nodded and stepped forward. So did the others. Mira and Leo watched as the transformation process began inside cryopods. The vectors were injected with enhancers, nanoserums, and viral controllers. Their skin changed color. Their eyes glowed faintly. They became something new, not alien, not superhuman. Just perfectly human. But dangerous to anything dragon. But time was running out. Meanwhile, in the stars in a dark corner of space, the second dragon fleet was approaching, but they were not like the first. These ones were older, stronger, smarter. Led by a being known only as the Architect. He was not a warrior. He was the one who created the dragon species from pure evolution and conquest. When he heard of Earth's defense and the death of the Queen, he did not get angry, he got curious. Humans, he said slowly, studying Mira's image, they destroy, but also evolve. He smiled for the first time in 10,000 years. This is no longer invasion. This is war of species, awakening the vectors back on Earth. The vectors were ready. Their presence was strange. Each one looked normal, but when they walked, the air changed. Machines near them malfunctioned. Aliens, if nearby, would rot from the inside. They were humanity's immune system. Aegis had one final message for the world: you built machines, you launched rockets, you made war. But your greatest weapon was inside you all along. Each vector would board a stealth shuttle. They wouldn't fight in groups. They would spread to space stations, to fallen ships, to dragon-controlled zones. Touch, breath, blood, all carried the virus, even one vector reaching the next dragon command ship could destroy their entire system from within, but there was no going back. Once released, the DNA weapon would live in the world forever. It could mutate, change, escape control. It was the last weapon Earth would ever create. Mira's decision. As Mira prepared to lead the vector operation, Leo pulled her aside. You don't have to go. Let Aegis command the mission. You've done enough. Mira looked up at the sky. Now clear but scarred. I've seen what they did to our people. I heard that Queen's voice in my head, and I saw our future in her fear. She turned to Leo and whispered, I'm not doing this because I'm brave. I'm doing this because I'm angry. Then she walked onto the ship. The launch 17 ships. 17 lives. One last chance. The world watched from broken cities and bunkers as the vector ships rose into the sky, glowing like stars. The Architect's fleet was only 3 weeks away, but Earth was no longer silent. It was sending a message, not in words, but in blood. We are not weak. We are the cure. The fall of the Armada stars were quiet, but behind them, death was coming. The second dragon fleet, larger than the first, was now just 11 days away from Earth. Over 3,000 ships, stronger, smarter, designed to adapt. Faster, built to erase planets. And at the center of it all, a single vessel the size of the moon itself, the throne ship. Inside it stood the Architect, creator of the dragon, ruler of the Bioforge Empire, and destroyer of over 200 civilizations. He was old, ancient, not just intelligent, strategic. He had never lost a war, but this was different. He was no longer fighting to conquer Earth. He was fighting to survive it. The infection begins in the cold blackness between stars. 17 human vector pods floated silently. Each carried a passenger, who was no longer just human, but something more, something new. Modified DNA, fused with nanoviruses and natural mutation. The first pod reached a scout vessel from the Dragon fleet. The aliens scanned the pod. No threats detected. They brought it aboard. Inside, Anna, the youngest vector, opened her eyes. She smiled softly and exhaled. The air turned cold. 24 Dragon crew members collapsed within 5 minutes. Their black armor cracked. Their organs liquefied. Their neural links sparked violently, infecting the ship's network. In 1 hour, the entire scout vessel was dead, but the virus wasn't. It moved. It evolved. It spread to nearby ships using communication channels as digital pathways and biosignals as infection routes. The Dragon fleet was under attack, not from missiles, but from inside. The Architect's counter strategy. Inside the throne ship, the Architect stood before a sphere of glowing energy. Dozens of Dragon scientists surrounded it, terrified. They've made a genetic weapon, one hissed. Impossible, said another. They are still primitive. The Architect remained calm. No, they are wild. That is their strength. They do not follow code. They are not pure. They are chaos. He turned to his generals. Burn the infected ships. Sever all links. Quarantine the fleet. But it was already too late. In just 3 days, over 260 ships had gone dark. Humanity rise in Earth. People watched the skies. They didn't understand the science, But they saw the results. Alien ships in orbit began falling. Some crashed into oceans. Some exploded in the air. Aegis monitored it all from Earth's command. Bunker confirmed infection rate at 12%. Projected collapse in 7 days. Mira, now in command, stood next to Leo. She wasn't the same woman who had scanned the first signal. She was harder, quieter, sharper. She watched the burning skies with calm fury. "We don't just survive," she said softly. "We infect." Leo glanced at her. "You sound like them," Mira replied. "No. I sound like someone who finally understands what it takes to win." Betrayal among the stars, but not all vectors were loyal. In the dark belt of ruined ships, Vector 7, a former military test subject named Rovan, had made contact with a dragon psychic node. It whispered to him, "You are like us. More than them, you are evolution." Rovan felt powerful. His DNA had advanced beyond control. He didn't feel human anymore. So he turned. He gave the architect a warning. He told him how to block the virus. He told him Mira was planning a final detonation, a biobomb that would collapse the throne ship's neural core. The architect smiled for the second time in 10,000 years. Then he said, "Let her come." The final strike team time was running out. Earth's virus was spreading. But the Dragon were adapting fast. Reinforcements would arrive in for days. So Mira made the call. "We attack the throne ship directly. One team, one chance." Aegis warned her. "Survival probability 3%. She nodded. "Then we don't aim to survive. We aim to finish this." Leo volunteered. So did Anna, now fully transformed. Her eyes glowed with quiet power, and 3 remaining soldiers, all touched by the virus, all willing to go. They launched in a stealth ship so small it didn't even show up on radar, straight toward the heart of the enemy. Inside the throne ship, it was not a ship. It was a world. Forests of bone, rivers of energy, walls made of living memory. The architect was waiting. He had built the throne ship from the DNA of fallen civilizations. Now he would harvest Earth and erase its mutation forever. Mira's team landed inside the neural core. The room was alive, humming with the voices of 1,000 dead races. Anna dropped to her knees. "They're screaming," she whispered. Leo opened the case. Inside was the final weapon, a gene bomb. Not explosive, it would release the final strain, pure, undetectable, permanent. Once released, it would infect the entire dragon species through psychic link. But then Rovan appeared. His body was twisted, bigger, stronger. He had fused with dragon tech. "I'm the future," he growled. "Not her." He attacked, sacrificed, and victorized. The fight was brutal. Rovan was faster than anyone expected. He killed 2 soldiers in seconds. Leo was injured. Anna burned half her energy, just slowing him down. Finally, Mira faced him. "You were one of us," she said. "No," he replied. "You're still human. I'm beyond that." And that was his mistake. Mira pressed the detonator inside her own chest. She was the carrier now, not the bomb. "I am human," she said, "and that's why you lose." A blinding white light filled the throne ship. The neural core shattered. The architect screamed. Across space, every dragon mind linked to the throne ship felt it and collapsed. Ships lost power. Command broke. The entire fleet spiraled into chaos. Earth watches the skein by one. Alien ships in Earth's orbit began to fall over Africa, Asia, Europe, the Americas. Some dragon tried to flee, but the virus was too fast. Too deep. Too human. Aegis final report: alien fleet destroyed. Viral containment incomplete. Mutation irreversible. Threat level reduced. Monitoring required. Leo, the last survivor, sat in a hospital bed staring at the sky. He whispered Mira's last words to himself. "We are human, that's why we win." Asterisk, we are not weak. The sky was no longer on fire. It was quiet, blue, clear. For the first time in months, Earth breathed. The Dragon Armada had fallen. Their ships burned in the oceans. Their weapons lay shattered in deserts and forests, their empire silent. Cities were still broken, families still grieving, but the feeling in the air was something new, not fear. Not even hope. It was defiance. The last signal in a command center beneath the mountains of Norway. Aegis scanned the stars. Every dragon signature had vanished. The virus built from the DNA of humanity had done what no weapon ever could. The war was over, but Aegis did not shut down. It processed one final incoming signal, not from Dragon, not from Earth. From somewhere else. Far beyond the galaxy, a soft pulse. 3 words: "We are watching." Aegis marked the origin point, a cold star system near the galactic edge, surrounded by gravitational anomalies, unexplored, unknown. It stored the data and said nothing to the humans. Leo's return. Leo stood on the broken rooftop of an old hospital in Geneva. Wind blew through the ruins. Trees had begun growing between the cracks in the buildings. He wore no uniform, no medals. Just a plain jacket and an old photo of the team they had lost. Mira. Anna. Dax. Kane. Even Rovan who had once fought for humanity and then betrayed it, was on that list. Because history remembers everyone, even the fallen, a crowd was gathering in the square below: survivors, veterans, civilians, children who had never known anything but war. Leo looked down. It was time to speak. The voice of Earth. There were no fancy words, just a mic, a cracked podium, and Leo's tired voice. You've all seen what happened. You've all lost someone, so have I. He paused. When the dragon came, they thought we were animals. They looked at our weapons and laughed. They called us weak. He took a breath. But weakness doesn't survive extinction. Fear doesn't survive war. You know what does? He raised his head. Fire. The crowd listened in silence. We fought. We bled. We broke. But we never stopped. That's what makes us dangerous. That's what makes us human. His voice grew sharper. We didn't just win this war with bullets. We won it with memory, with pain, with our DNA. They tried to rewrite us and we rewrote them. He leaned closer to the mic. And if anything else is out there watching, listening, take this message home with you. We are not weak. The crowd exploded with cheers. And in that moment, Earth became something new, not just a survivor, not just a planet, but a warning, the awakening deep below Earth's surface. In the old core vault where the first Aegis chip had been built, something blinked. A glass chamber opened. Inside was Mira's DNA sample, still active, still glowing. Aegis had preserved it because something had changed in her. Something the virus didn't create but unlocked. Aegis had analyzed her final readings. One strange pattern, unknown, not viral, not human. It matched nothing on record. Except that same pattern had now been detected in 6 newborns across Earth. Each born after the fall, each with no genetic link, each dreaming of the stars. Aegis quietly created a new folder, Project Descent, Gen 0, far beyond the galaxy. In the black space near the cold system, a silver sphere floated. No crew. Just memory inside it. The remnants of dragon thought lived on, fragmented, broken, but whispering. They spoke of Earth, of the infection, of the end, and of something worse. They were not chosen by chance. Earth was a seed. In the distance, 5 ancient ships powered up, silent watchers from a time before time. Their lights blinked slowly. Not dragon, not human. Older. They turned toward Earth. And began to move. Back on Earth, Leo stared at the stars, standing beside the grave of Mira. He placed a hand on the stone. We ended one war, he whispered. That doesn't mean there won't be another. He looked up at the night sky, calm, quiet, waiting. But next time, he smiled faintly, we'll be ready.